Dead. I really thought I was going to meet my neighbor. I did think that. So I'm so thankful to be alive.
But there is unspeakable loss in Fall River, where 9 residents at an assisted living facility were killed in a fast-moving fire. Dozens more were hurt but survived.
I opened it, and all the smoke from the hall went right in my face, and all I could do was just stand there and choke. And I thought it was going to be the end of everything.
Emergency workers say it was all hands on deck as they raced to rescue people who were trapped by the smoke and flames. This is 86-year-old Eleanor Willett, one of the victims who died in this terrible fire. Thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Lisa Hughes.
And I'm Courtney Cole. And now investigators are looking for answers for the family of Eleanor and the other victims and survivors who want to know how this tragedy happened. And we have just learned the names of those victims. 64-year-old Rui Albernaz, 61-year-old Ronald Codega, 69-year-old Margaret Duddy, 78-year-old Robert King, 71-year-old Kim Mackin, and 78-year-old Richard Rochon. 2 others have not yet been identified tonight. We have a team of reporters covering all angles of this story tonight. Let's begin with WBZ's Louisa Moeller live at Gabriel House in Fall River. Louisa.
Well, Courtney, Lisa, firefighters arrived here and they found flames just shooting out of those front doors there that are now being boarded up. You can still see some of the charred pieces. But the chief says that the deadliest part of this was the smoke that spread throughout the entire building. In fact, there are AC units on many of these windows. Firefighters say those units hindered their rescue efforts. One firefighter saying some of the units were screwed into the frames of the windows. Another firefighter saying they had been on the scene for 40 minutes and they were still rescuing trapped victims. This witness video shows the frenzied scene. Firefighters on all 3 levels of the Gabriel House assisted living facility in Fall River.
They were carrying like hands and feet. They were screaming like, "We need a medic, we need a medic."
The flames ripped through the front of the building as the smoke spread throughout the 100 units. One firefighter described the horror he saw inside.
They raised a ladder. I went in. I didn't have an air tank or anything. First room empty. Second door I kicked in, body. Next room empty. Next room, body. I just kept yelling. Guys kept coming down. We kept dragging them out.
9 people were killed and more than 30 transported to the hospital, including 1 in critical condition.
There were multiple victims hanging out the windows, screaming and begging for help and to be rescued.
By daylight, debris lay everywhere, air conditioning units on the ground, smashed out windows. As crews began to put boards up, Governor Maura Healey toured the devastation, recognizing the terror that residents felt and the challenges that faced first responders.
Many were immobile, many had oxygen tanks. They were severely compromised individuals in this assisted living facility.
The governor and the fire chief praised the heroism of firefighters, but some of them say they did all they could without the support they needed, arguing the fire department is understaffed. Some responded from off duty without protective gear or breathing apparatus.
Last night, had they been staffed properly up to national standards, there would have been 8 more firefighters effecting rescues here last night.
We did the best we could with what we had, and what we had was not enough.
Now, at this early point, the chief is giving no indication as to how this fire started. The Fall River Fire Department and the State Department of Fire Services are investigating. Live in Fall River, Louisa Moeller, WBZ News.
Louisa, thank you. Now, residents describe a terrifying scene as first responders tried to evacuate them through the smoke-filled building. Many fear that they wouldn't make it out alive.
WBZ's Christina Rex continues our team coverage now from Fall River, where a temporary shelter is set up for survivors and for the families. Christina?
Courtney and Lisa, many of those residents who had nowhere to go were brought here to this community center. They talked to me about those harrowing moments, and they told me that many of them haven't slept since they were rescued from that fire.
I'll never forget it. I will never forget this nightmare. Never. Never.
A nightmare. That's how the residents of Gabriel House will remember the harrowing moments they escaped a fire that took the lives of 9 of their neighbors.
I got up and I opened my door and the smoke just hit me. It filled my whole room and the bathroom. I tried to get out. I tried the exit. I couldn't get out to the exit door.
So Lorraine Ferrara was pulled out her bathroom window and down a ladder by firefighters. It was a chaotic scene, one where many of these residents feared they would not survive.
I thought I was going to die. I thought this was it. It's all over. It's all over for me. That's what I thought.
Multiple residents tell WBZ the building's elevator had just been fixed after it had been broken for 8 months. The mayor says he's just learning of that issue today.
I consider myself a hands-on mayor. I don't sit in the office. I get out and about as much as I can. And I would have gone down there and checked it out myself.
To repair the hazard for the many elderly, disabled people who lived in the 3-story building.
Oh, fall risk.
Al Almanza was pulled through the smoky halls by first responders.
All the smoke from the hall went right in my face, and all what I could do was just stand there and choke. And I thought it was going to be the end of everything.
That fear still shaking these neighbors who are remembering some of their best friends lost in the fire.
It's just really sad and it's very awesome.
They both tell me every day they love me, and I tell them I love them.
And many of these residents have complicated medical issues. They have no family and nowhere to go. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we'll tell you the steps that the city is taking to make sure they have a place to stay tonight. Live in Fall River, Christina Rex, WBZ News.
Christina, thank you. You hear the anguish in their voices tonight. Dozens of people who were injured in that fire are still hospitalized.
And many of their families are waiting anxiously to learn whether their loved ones will be okay. WBZ's Logan Hall joins us live outside of Rhode Island Hospital in Providence, Rhode Island tonight. And Logan, some of the victims have a long road to recovery.
Yeah, Courtney and Lisa, that's right. There are still several people in critical condition after this deadly fire in Fall River. We spoke to one family whose loved one suffered severe burns to about 50% of their body. She's being treated right here at the Rhode Island Hospital's burn unit here in Providence. And this family tells me that it is an extremely difficult time for them. It was an emotional and at many times heartfelt conversation as they navigate this terrible tragedy.
She means a lot to me besides my mother. She's the one that I call. We talk every day on the phone.
It's been an unimaginable day for Fall River resident Priscilla Andrade, whose aunt Brenda Andrade is in critical condition after the fire at the Gabriel House assisted living facility. Around 11 p.m., she learned about the fire and immediately began calling family members, praying that her aunt was okay. Around midnight, her cousin called and told her that she was among those injured.
My cousin hit me up and said, "It's Auntie Brenda." I said, "No." I said, "Is she alive?" She goes, "Fire right now, yes."
Her aunt suffered severe burns to about 50% of her body and was transferred here to the Rhode Island Hospital's burn unit. She says that she always wished that she had the space to take Brenda into her house and that she had growing concerns about the level of care and quality of living at the Gabriel House.
They don't check on you like normal, like a hospital would. All they did was come in, give her pills, and that was it. She didn't want to take her pills, okay. There's a few times I went there, the pills are on the floor.
Priscilla was just at the Gabriel House yesterday and is terrified that that was the last time she might see her Auntie Brenda.
It's scary because I can't get to her to let her know that I'm here.
Now, several members of the Andrade family are here at this hospital right now, actively awaiting an update on Brenda's condition. They're spending every waking moment here praying that she makes it out alive. Reporting live in Providence, Logan Hall, WBZ News.
Logan, thank you. Now, Gabriel House opened back in 1999 and was home to about 70 people. WBZ's chief investigator, Cheryl Fiandaca, did some digging today into the facility and how it's run. Cheryl?
Now, Courtney, there's little transparency around ownership and none of it when it comes to inspection reports or safety records. Advocates say there are too few regulations and no real oversight of these privately run homes, leaving some of the state's most vulnerable population at risk.
The aftermath of the deadly blaze at Gabriel House shows charred windows where residents tried to escape. But not everyone was able to get out alive.
And I hate to say it, it's a tragedy that could have likely been avoided.
Avoided because the advocacy group Dignity Alliance has been sounding the alarm for years about the lack of state regulation and oversight at the facilities with vulnerable populations.
Their population is ever more looking like a nursing home population, yet they don't have the same extent of regulations and oversight.
WBZ talked to one of the workers about the conditions inside Gabriel House.
They had cockroaches, infested with cockroaches, bed bugs. It was dirty. The elevator was broke for 9 months. People on the third floor were stuck in their rooms. They don't deserve to live in those quarters.
The I-Team asked for the inspection reports from the Executive Office of Aging and Independence, but they did not provide them, and none of the records of individual facilities is available online. The homes are required to be certified by the state agency and are subject to annual reviews. The city building department records show the facility was inspected in October of 2024. The Fall River Fire Department is responsible to make sure the building is safe. The I-Team asked for those inspection reports and certificates, but the department did not provide them. And at a news conference, the chief was asked if there were any problems with the sprinkler system.
Does this building have sprinklers?
It does.
And did those go up?
I can't speak to that right now.
The facilities are considered residential and provide personal services help and food. A 2025 state report shows the average rent cost per month for assisted living homes ranges from $4,228 to $10,886. Governor Maura Healey says most of the residents at Gabriel House are receiving state benefits, and she was not aware of any safety complaints.
Most of them were people who needed help, as you see from some of the footage and what I've seen. You know, these are people who were not able to move themselves. They were not mobile themselves.
Is the state meeting its responsibility? They have all these folks that are living in this communal setting. How often are these places inspected, and who's inspecting them?
Good questions. The state does have an obligation there. 9 people have died and 30 people in the hospital. That's this day and age, that's not acceptable. The people who have the ownership and responsibility, they need to be held accountable.
Well, the cause of the fire remains under investigation, but is not believed to be suspicious. Coming up at 6, the I-Team takes a look at the owner of the home and his involvement in other healthcare businesses and controversies over the years. Lisa, Courtney?
WBZ Cheryl Fiandaca live in studio. Cheryl, thank you.